Our next inductee will be introduced by Benny McClain, class of 1971. Benny, would you come forward, please?
This one may not be as exciting as those last two, but we're going to go with it. This afternoon is really indeed an honor for me to introduce my longtime friend Jimmy Price to be inducted into the GHS Hall of Fame. Jimmy and I have been longtime friends, had great times growing up. I was going to get deeper in this in athletics in his senior year, but we didn't. So both of us played with the Indians in 1970. He followed in his dad's footsteps, became a very successful lawyer in Conroe, Texas. And now more about Jimmy. Jimmy was born in Pasadena, Texas on December 13th, 1954 to J.V. Sonny Price and Jean Taylor Price. Jimmy, together with his mother, father, and older sister, Brenda Elizabeth Standish, moved to Groveton when Jimmy was 4 years old. Jimmy had the nicest and most sincere parents I've ever met. While he did not know at the time, Jimmy met his future wife, Gina Savard, shortly after they began attending kindergarten together. Jimmy graduated second in his class from Groveton High School in May 1973. After graduating, Jimmy enrolled in Stephen F. Austin State University in August 1973 and graduated from SFA in 1976 with a Bachelor in Political Science and minor in Economics. After graduating from SFA, Jimmy began his law school August 1976 at South Texas College of Law in Houston. Jimmy and Gina were married, first met at church in Groveton during Jimmy's second semester of law school on February the 12th, 1977. Jimmy graduated from South Texas College of Law and received his Juris Doctorate in August 1979, took the bar exam in 1979, and was sworn in as a new lawyer by the Texas Supreme Court in 1979. Shortly before his graduation from law school in 1979, Jimmy and Gina moved to Conroe, and they've resided in Montgomery County since. They currently live at Sendero Ranch in Magnolia. After encouraging Gina to obtain her law degree rather than her MBA, Gina graduated from South Texas College of Law in 1983. Jimmy and Gina formed Price and Price in 1984 and have practiced law and worked together side by side since that time. Jimmy has been board certified in family law since 1986 and board certified in criminal law since 1987. Less than 10% of Texas attorneys are board certified in even one area of law. Jimmy took the extra step and is board certified. He has also been selected as a Texas super lawyer by Texas Monthly Magazine in the practice area of law and has received the prestige honor each year since 2003. He has also been recognized as a top lawyer by H Texas Magazine each year since 2003. Jimmy is also a licensed mediator. For the past 45 years, Jimmy's law practice has been focused on representing clients in complex divorce cases involving contested property division and child custody issues, as well as representation of accused in major felony crimes and serious offenses. Jimmy is an active state and national organization established to further the practice of law, is a past president of the Montgomery County Bar Association, and recently completed a 3-year term as a member of the State Bar Minimum Continuing Legal Education Committee, where he also served 1 year as vice chairman. Jimmy and Gina are proud parents of Jamie Lamar Price Kercheval and Jordan Taylor Price. Jamie and Jason and their 7-year-old daughter, Genevieve Jerry Kercheval, named after Jimmy, live in Montgomery in the Woodlands community, a short 7 minutes from Happy, as Jenny calls Gina, and Pops, as Jimmy calls Jimmy. Jamie and Jason both graduated from South Texas College of Law and are both lawyers also. Jordan, their younger daughter, is a successful building contractor and home builder and resides in Galveston. For the end of this, I'd like to thank Jimmy for permitting me to speak for him today, and he'll be a valuable asset to the GHS Hall of Fame.
Good afternoon. Benny, thank you for that introduction. When I asked Benny to introduce me, he wanted to know, well, what should I say? He said, should I talk about some of the things we did while we were in high school? And I said, no. Because I wasn't sure that the statute of limitations had run on several of those events, so I just had him, please don't go there. The second thing I want to share with you is that Gina's speech was really my speech. That's not true. Gina's a much better writer than I am, and it always has been. And so I read her speech, and I thought, well, you didn't give me anything to say. But I am honored to be here. I appreciate everybody that came today to share in this. I'm truly humbled and truly honored to receive this award. It is incredible. The dictionary, I looked at what does distinguished alumni, what does that mean? The dictionary defines distinguished as being respected, admired for excellence, famous, renowned, known far and wide. I'm not sure that I fit any of that part of the definition. Was pointed out by Gina earlier. There are just so many that are in this room that are so much more deserving of this honor than I am in deserving it. However, I'm not going to give it back, and I do to keep it. I won't reject it, and I do intend to keep it. When I first looked out at everyone here, I thought, well, this is sort of like picking a jury. And over the last 45 years, I've picked a whole lot of juries. And it reminded me of one time when we were picking a jury. We had been in trial for 3 weeks, picking the jury. We were on a Friday afternoon about 3 o'clock. Everybody is just exhausted because you go through this repetitive process over and over, trying to basically weed out people who are going to be part of this, and it was a capital murder process where the state was seeking the death penalty. And so we're just exhausted in asking these repetitive questions, and so we're at that time of day, and I asked the question you're supposed to ask, well, Mr. Juror, can you be fair? Can you tell me if you can participate in this capital process? And he said, well, you know, I can't do it today, but he said I could go up to Huntsville tomorrow and participate in this capital process. We took that as meaning, yes, he could certainly give the death penalty and could participate in that process. But what happened was even funnier than that was the judge in the case started laughing because we're all giddy. The prosecutor started laughing. I started laughing. We all had to just turn our backs on the juror who thought we were all morons and then figure out how we're going to let this juror go without letting him know that we were real morons. You know, my schedule, I told Gina, I said, since you took all my things that I was going to say, I'm just going to kind of skip around with some stories and things that maybe you'll find entertaining, maybe you want. But our schedule, with my schedule being as it has been all these years, does not always belong to me. It belongs to the court, to what clients need. Some clients may be in jail, so it's a hodgepodge of that. And one thing that came back to my mind was about Gina and I built a home in Conroe, and it took a little while to build it. We were in the rent house, we were then ready to move in, and the day we're supposed to move in, I get to help just a very little bit, but Monday, now I told her this on Sunday, as we're moving in, I have 3 trials they're backed up, and so I'm in trial for 3 weeks, back to back. And I don't even know where the light switches are in this house when I get through. And it was not one of the best of times, but it certainly was one of the times that I got blamed for setting my schedule to be sure that I didn't have to unpack everything, which was not the case at all. Gina alluded to Ms. Bradley, and there are several of us that knew Ms. Bradley well here in this room. She was a taskmaster. She took no nonsense approach and was mildly put very tough if you knew her. But I recall, I pulled it out, in the 1973 Tomahawk yearbook was dedicated to Ms. Maureen Bradley. And the dedication page from that 73 book, the Tomahawk book, said about Ms. Bradley. Happiness is having a well-qualified teacher who is fair and impartial, strict but kind, thoroughly dedicated and devoted to the monumental task of helping fun-loving boys and girls develop into mature, productive citizens of the school, community, and nation. And when I think back on that, at this time of my life, I think that, that dedication to Ms. Bradley could have also been equally applied to every teacher, staff member, aide, whatever, there here at Groveton at that time. It was the basis for our education, and while she was tough, that was really the focus that she had, was to make sure that we were going to be productive citizens of not only our school, but our community and also our nation. When I went to, after I graduated from Groveton in '73, enrolled in Stephen F. Austin, I knew then what I wanted to do with my life. I had known that from a very early age, probably about 4 or 5. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I didn't want to be anything else. And so that was just really my entire focus of what I planned on doing. Academically, SFA in '73 until now, it's a rigorous school and continues to be. But what I found in attending school. What I found by attending SFA, our teachers here at Groveton made certain that we were prepared for college. They drilled you. They sometimes were just, we thought, tough and shouldn't have been so tough. But looking back on that, I know that, the reason they were tough was because they wanted you to succeed. And I have no doubt that I would not have succeeded academically without the love and toughness that we had here at this school. And I felt on the same level in college as students who were, your competitors within the classroom and for the GPA, whether they came from large schools in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, it didn't matter, the suburbs of all of those private schools. I knew that I had the equal footing that those students had because of the education that I received here at this school, no doubt about it. While I can say that college was certainly fun, I enjoyed my time, I also knew that was not what I was going to do, is go to college all the time. It was merely the stepping stone for what I wanted to be, and that was to get to law school. I have no doubt that when I started law school, that the academic education I received in Groveton, that I also was able to build upon it, Stephen F., that enabled me to be competitive in law school. I wasn't the brightest student, wasn't the best student. I wasn't on law review as my wife was, but I maintained my grades enough to get a passing grade on the bar exam. And while I was accepted to several law schools that I wanted to go to, Baylor being one of them, Baylor didn't start until the winter quarter. That was in February. This was August, and I had been working for my Uncle Leon over in Trinity, who was a rock and dirt contractor, driving an unair-conditioned dump truck. And I was kind of tired of that. I was tired of the shovel that I was also using on a daily basis. And so I decided I would enroll in South Texas because I could begin there in August, and I would not have to deal with the unair-conditioned dump truck and shovel much longer. So that was how I got to South Texas. and it was one of the best decisions that I ever made. It was also that summer that out at the Y, Highway 94 and 287, I'd gotten off work one afternoon late. Gene and I were out there together, and I asked her, I said, would you consider marrying me? And that's not really true. I asked her, I said, could you support me while I go to law school? Thankfully, she said yes. We, of course, got married here in the Methodist Church here in Groveton. Gina continues to be my support, especially now that I'm transitioning away from litigation that I've done for so many years. I'm tired of fighting over whether today's Saturday or not with some of the younger lawyers. It just, that doesn't interest me anymore. I'm enjoying mediation because I don't have the authority that an arbitrator or a judge does, but I can help people still in settling and resolving disputes. And then what's really fun about that, when we're done, whether it's a successful mediation or not, I can close the file. I don't have to keep it open. I don't have to see them again. So it makes it nice. So hopefully I'm going to get more mediations than I've been having. When I took the bar exam in August of '79, and they send you the results. It's not like today, you don't get them by the email, they mail them to you. And I remember getting those results that day. I got the mail, brought it in, and Gina said, Arthur, because we're expecting them to come, did you get the bar results today? I said, yes, I did. She said, well, where are they? Where? I said, I put it up on the mantle of the fireplace. And she was kind of incredulous about why I hadn't opened it. And I said, well, if you want to know, you open it. So she did. I passed. And we never looked back from that period of time. I'm not going to tell you again about our wonderful children and our especially wonderful grandchild who is 7 and is just the love of our life, or what they do. You know, we now have the immediate family. We've got 4 of us that are lawyers. Jordan, who's successful on her own in Galveston, building homes. And Jordan, by the way, she's our just fixing to daddy child. Because if you'd ask her, Jordan, have you cleaned up your room? Daddy, I was just fixing to. Whatever it is, Jordan has always been just fixing to. But I remember vividly when we took Jordan to Houston with the U-Haul truck and whatever. We spent the better part of an afternoon unloading. It is hot in August, and we can kind of tell she's ready for us to go ahead and, you know, y'all get on back to Colorado. I'm going to be okay here. And so she looks at me and she says, Daddy, do you know what I don't have tonight? I said, no, Jordan, what the hell, what don't you have tonight? And she says, curfew. I said, that may be right. I said, but don't enjoy too many curfews of what you're thinking about. I said, because you have to actually go to school to remain in school. And Jordan did well. They're at University of Houston, and but I never will forget the thing about the curfew. That's just, you know. Also, the teachers here at GHS, not only in teaching a particular subject, they taught us how to be role models because they modeled it. And if you wanted to look for whatever you were looking for, whether to exemplify integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect for others, you needn't look further than the teachers and the administrators that were here, because they all practice it on a daily basis. And I think that we don't appreciate that at the time, but in looking back, I appreciate it immensely, because I know without a doubt, excuse me, I would not be where I am today. I would not have had near the success that we've had and enjoyed over the years, but for these teachers. And so I'm eternally grateful for the teachers and the administrators, the staff here at Groveton, because not only did they just, our family, especially my wife and her support, they've all been the reason that we've been able to have the success that we've had. And I appreciate everybody here. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble. I'm sorry that Gina took my speech, but it is what it is. Thank y'all so very much.
Jimmy's plaque says, a distinguished alumni of Groveton ISD, Jimmy P. Price, class of 1973. In recognition of your lifetime achievements and your dedicated service, 2024 from the Groveton Ex-Students Association. Congratulations as one of our newest members of the association. You're welcome.